Welcome to the Total Soccer Show Weekender, the episode that sends you off into the weekend with a look ahead to some of its biggest matches and, of course, a little old quiz. My name's Ryan Bailey, and joining me today, we've got Quizmaster Extraordinaire, Taylor Rockwell. Hello, Taylor. How are you?
I am wunderbar. Very excited to be here. Very excited for you all to do some quizzing again. It goes all over the place, as is to be expected.
I think you'd make a good quiz host in like trivia in a bar or a brewery. I could see you doing that, swinging the microphone around like an entertainer.
I appreciate that. I think on more than one occasion in doing these quizzes, there have been multiple answers to my question, and I think that would lead to, from my understanding of bar trivia, that would lead to riots and fistfights if there were multiple answers accepted. So I got to tighten up a little bit more. I got to hone my skills.
Keeps things interesting.
More. Yeah. Joe did throw a punch once. It just didn't work because it was at the monitor towards Graham.
I'll get him next time.
I actually, for a little while, ran a trivia quiz at my university in one of the bars there. And we had a controversial question, Taylor, where it was the question was, which band is Rick Wilson in? And Graham, it is...
Kaiser Chiefs.
Kaiser Chiefs, yes. But also, apparently, one of the B-52s is also called Rick Wilson. So we had two answers. It was a nightmare. Hello, Graham.
Hello. And in telling us that you used to run a quiz at your university, you've just revealed that you were very cool. Mm-hmm. You're a cool guy in university. Yeah,
we all knew that.
Yeah.
That's not new.
Yeah.
Whereas you, walking around like the Fonz with your leather jacket.
Yeah, right? That was me. That was me. Spot on. Nailed it.
Very good. Joe Lowry's also here. Hello, Joe.
Just a bunch of cool guys. A bunch of cool, super not nerdy guys who have lots of interests beyond nerdy stuff. That's
right.
Us.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, Graham, regular Zach Morris over there. Sitting on his seat backwards. Everything. The whole works.
Ryan, I know that you're a Letterkenny fan. Did you see the episode when they're trying to talk to the youth because the youth are out of control? And every character, when they go to talk to the youth, make sure to turn their chair backwards and then sit down the way AC Slater did, because that's how you connect to the youth. It makes me laugh so hard every single time.
There you go. Don't look on Urban Dictionary what AC Slatering is, because it will change your bathroom habits, I assure you. But let's get to the Weekender right after. That's right, you just go on the toilet backwards. Well, patreon.com/Total Soccer Show is the best place to get our bonus content.
Could have been a lot worse.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah. It wasn't as gross as I made it sound. Yeah, you just go backwards, face the wall.
While you call the toilet
bonus episodes, bonus video, and access to our Discord server. You can find all that at patreon.com/Total Soccer Show. It's the best way to support us, and we appreciate everyone who does so. All right, let's get into the Weekender. Some games we are looking forward to seeing this weekend. Taylor, would you like to kick us off with a game you are looking forward to seeing?
Sure. Not informed entirely by the conversation about will Bayern Munich ever lose the game again, but not informed by that. Bayern Munich versus Bayer Leverkusen. I am very excited for this one because it is another strong test for Bayern, or a strong-ish test for Bayern against a top 5 team, a team in Bayer Leverkusen who have won their last 4 straight in the Bundesliga. Don't look at any other games they might have played, but Bundesliga, they're doing great. 7-2 to PSG is maybe not the result they were hoping for in the Champions League, so there's always that possibility. But it's a Leverkusen that are obviously much stronger since Erik ten Hag was kicked out the door. Kasper Hjulmand has been doing a strong enough job, a good enough job of kind of figuring this team out, getting people into the right positions, and then getting them to perform pretty well. But this is a Bayern team that score all the goals, don't concede any goals, look completely imperious and completely dominant. And so it's a really good test, and it's the last, as I said on yesterday's show, the last big test for Bayern in the league until basically December. So I'm excited to see how this one plays out. I suspect it will be a Bayern win at home, but it really could go either way, and I think Leverkusen will do everything they can to make this really difficult, because Leverkusen could use a statement win this season, and this would very much be that.
On Thursday's Take It or Leave It show, we established that Bayern were going to go the full season with nothing but wins, right? So this one's written. This one's written already.
It would be hilarious if they lost this game.
Yeah.
There we go. That one is at 1:30 on Saturday on ESPN Select. ESPN Select, as we all know, the rebranded ESPN Plus that we're all aware they've done that.
It's Watch ESPN Plus Select 360 is the full billing,
Max.
just to give it proper. Yeah.
Max. Yeah.
I believe all 4 of those have actually been ESPN streaming services at some point.
Isn't it the ESPN Select? It's It's better.
Sold. I'm in.
Joe, where are your eyes to be diverted on your television this weekend in terms of the soccer?
I'll cast my eye. Can I drop something actually before I answer that? I prefer to watch soccer on my computer than on my TV.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Sorry, guys.
Are you on the floor at the time or at a
no.
desk?
Okay. Here's the thing. If I'm watching on the TV, I am on the floor. I'm like laying down, propped up by pillows with my head.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm like usually if I'm watching work soccer for some reason, because maybe this is my version of the Fiorentino Perez attention span thing, I feel like to be able to see the game well, even with these bad boys on, I need to be like
Glasses.
10 inches from the screen. I don't know exactly why that is. It's a problem. I can't fix it. It makes watching
So just
games
sit
in person
10
a little
inches
difficult.
from the TV screen, like I do.
You know, that's a good point, Graham, but then I don't think I have the peripheral vision that you Scots must have to be able to pull that sort of thing off. Like, I have no idea what's happening on the left side of the screen.
Graham's like
It's
an
a
owl.
problem. Anyway, I'll be watching on my computer, most likely, this weekend, the Philadelphia Union and the Chicago Fire. Game 2 from that series. Philly won the first one in penalties. It was, I think, by far the best game of the first round of the postseason, although there were some other good games, too. But this game, we talked about on a Tuesday show in detail, was so much fun between Chicago and Philly. Chicago clawing their way back in after Philly had found a couple of goals. I think there's all sorts of interesting angles here. One is that it looked like a fairly tight game for most of the game between a wild card team in Chicago and the Supporters Shield winning Philadelphia Union. Like, I do not think a win for Chicago is off the table by any means, even without, presumably, Philip Zinkernagel. We don't know 100% if he's going to be able to play or not. He was in the gym earlier this week training in Chicago. I don't know if he's actually been out on the field playing. I'd be a little surprised if we see a lot of him. But Chicago, I think, have enough juice to stick in this game even without Zinkernagel because they already did it in Game 1. And also because I want to talk for just a second about Brian Gutierrez, who didn't start in that game for Greg Berhalter. I have quietly been amassing Brian Gutierrez stock throughout this season. I think I've talked about it before. He was one of the attacking midfielders that Mauricio Pochettino didn't bring on the field in that Nations League loss to Panama, where the U.S. lost in the Final Four. Then they go on to lose to Canada, and it's the worst Nations League campaign the U.S. has ever had. Gutierrez was on the bench for that game, and we haven't seen Gutierrez pop back up for the national team. But I think he is a really, really fun player. And I've never rated Gutierrez until this year, but I think this year we're seeing him develop his on-ball ability to the point where he's like a legit playmaker now. And he's done most of that as a dual number 8 in a 4-3-3, not even a pure number 10. And his numbers are really good for being in that spot. Now, Gutierrez is not the finished product. He fades out of games defensively too often. But in that wildcard game against Orlando, and then off the bench against Philly, I thought he was excellent. His Orlando game was the best we've seen from him ever as a professional. He was so good in that game. And on the field against Philly at Subaru, he is like dancing around players. He's providing this bit of on-ball quality that Chicago just didn't have when he wasn't on the field. I think he is excellent. Not finished yet, but excellent. And I would be a little surprised if we don't see more Brian Gutierrez against Philadelphia in Game 2. Chicago need a win. They can still afford to be patient about it, and so I don't know for sure if we'll see him start. But Gutierrez is getting increasingly close to must-watch in MLS if you're like a really, really passionate USMNT fan. Because while this World Cup might be a little too late for him, I think he is talented enough that he could be a legitimate piece of the next World Cup cycle for the U.S. men's national team. I've become really high on him, and any chance to watch him and this Chicago team against Philly, who are also good in a lot of different ways, I think is going to be a fun time on Saturday.
There you go. I believe you'll find that game at 5:30 Eastern on Saturday on Apple TV Plus, or as it's been rebranded, Apple TV. I'm seeing a theme.
Oh.
The Apple TV Select.com/.
One of those.
Yeah. Joe, at the risk of putting you on the spot, how many of these MLS playoff games do we suspect will go to 3 games?
I think we could see half go to 3 games, maybe a little bit more than that. There are only 2 series that I think are done. That is Dallas, Vancouver. I think that one's done. I also think Philly. I also think Portland and San Diego are done. Like I don't think. Even
I think there's
with
one
both
other
of
that's done.
Oh, okay. You think the Charlotte NYCFC one is done? So
Yeah.
that one, Zaha's going to be back for that game. And the thing is, I think NYCFC certainly have the advantage in that match, no doubt. Obviously, playing at home, I think they're the better team with how these rosters currently have healthy, available players, a.k.a. that was a long, weirdly way of saying Pep Biel's hurt. At the same time, I don't think NYCFC are like that good. You know, if Charlotte grab a goal on a set piece here, I'm not sure NYCFC are going to score in that game. So I don't think it's totally done. It's probably in that next tier where I'm not sure if a team's going to work their way back. I'd probably put the Chicago game in that tier. The one that I think is most up for grabs still is going to be Seattle, Minnesota. That game's on Monday, so it doesn't quite fit, but we'll count it for the sake of this exercise. Seattle were the better team in Game 1 on the road. They didn't get the result. I think they can back at home in front of their home crowd. I think Schmetzer might make a couple of changes. But really, I think it's mostly just Dallas and Portland that I would probably count out right now.
Very good. Okay. I'd like to quickly shout out a game I'm interested in watching this weekend. It is the box office game from Serie A on Sunday at 2:45 Eastern. Milan taking on Roma. No Christian Pulisic involved in this one, but plenty to talk about from this game. Both teams are high-flying. Milan are fourth. Their only defeat so far this season was in that opening match, that surprise loss at San Siro to Cremonese. On Wednesday, they drew with local rivals Atalanta. Atalanta have drawn 7 times from their 9 games. That is even Juric heritage there. Wonderful stuff indeed.
Who do you think they are? Juve.
I know, right? I know. Imagine Serie A busting out a load of draws. It's crazy. Roma a second. As I've mentioned before on the feed, I think Gasperini, I think of all the managerial changes that happened this summer in Italy, Roma got dealt the best card, I would argue, with Gasperini going there. So he's doing very well. Had a 2-1 win over Parma on Wednesday as well. Roma can leap, potentially, if the Napoli result goes their way. They're hosting Como on Saturday. They could actually leapfrog, potentially, Napoli onto top spot as well. But at least they want to keep pace with them at the top. Now, I've said it before and I've cursed Serie A games before, but I think this one could have goals in it. 13 goals between these two teams in their last 4 meetings. It feels like a delicately poised game. So I'm looking forward to it and seeing a bit more of this Gasperini Roma side as well. And Milan evidently getting their act together this season as well. 2:45 Eastern on Sunday on the CBS Paramount Select. There we go. Excellent stuff. Graham, where would you like to take us?
So I'm going to take us to a little-known league called the Premier League. You may have heard of it.
And Scotland House Premier League, I think.
Premier League. And I'm going to highlight 2 teams. I need to nail the pronunciation here. I think it's Man City and Bournemouth, I think is how you say that. You might have heard of them. Yeah. I think this has the potential. So this is 11:30 Eastern on Sunday, Man City v Bournemouth. I think this has the potential to be one of the most interesting stylistic and tactical clashes of the entire season in the Premier League. And I should mention that Stu in the Discord highlighted this one when I asked for matches people were looking forward to this weekend. So we're on the same wavelength there, because Bournemouth, they are a team that like to expose teams, opposition teams, that is, in attack and transition. They have speed in the forward line. Antoine Semenyo has been on fire this season, right up there with one of the best attacking players in the entire league. Krupi, the teenage centre forward that all of a sudden they have unearthed from Lorient under the radar, he looks quality as well. But as Stu puts it, Bournemouth are built to disrupt teams that like to control games. See Manchester City. So that in itself has the potential to make this interesting. Then you add in the wrinkle that Man City are also going direct more quickly and more often these days. That's a bit of a trend that we're seeing across the Premier League. Do you know that passing per 90 minutes in the Premier League this season is at a 15-year low right now? And City and Bournemouth kind of exemplify that in their own ways. It's a trend we're seeing with teams across the Premier League looking to bypass the press. So both of these teams have that ability to go direct, to go quick. And I just think that makes it even more interesting. So I'll be looking forward to that game. And then a very quick mention for another game. I promise I won't highlight a Scottish game every single week, but there's an Old Firm this weekend. No jokes, Ryan Bailey. It's a League Cup semi-final. But the bigger picture, this is at 9 a.m. Eastern on Sunday. The bigger picture is that both Celtic and Rangers have been in absolute turmoil this season. They have both changed managers. Danny Rowe has come in at Rangers, former Sheffield United manager, was a coach at Bayern. He was Hansi Flick's assistant at Bayern when they won the Champions League. It's early days. He's only had 3 games. He is an impressive young coach who Rangers have taken to quite quickly, and they have been a lot steadier in the last couple of games that they have played. They won last night as we're recording this away to Hibs, which is a good result. And then on the Celtic side of things, Martin O'Neill is back, which feels like a fever dream, and it's amazing that this was a footnote to the whole Brendan Rodgers bombshell from earlier this week. I have absolutely no idea what to expect from this game. The first Old Firm derby of the season was probably the worst match that I have ever watched in my life, and I mean that. It was the lowest XG match that Opta had ever recorded. It could be that again, because both of these teams are terrible. It could also be complete chaos, because that would be in keeping with the mood of the moment. So, no idea what to expect, but I will be watching on Sunday.
Very good stuff. On Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, you can watch that Scottish League Cup Old Firm on Paramount Select. Good for them for carrying that one. And the Man City Bournemouth game, 11:30 Eastern on Sunday as well. Oh, Clash. Which one we're going to pick? Oh, not sure.
This is where you need the dual screen situation.
Dual screen. Make sure you're 10 inches from either screen, whichever one you watch, listener. That is our advice on Total Soccer Show. Very good indeed. Why don't we take a little break? When we come back, we've spoken with our Discord about some games you guys are looking forward to watching this weekend as well. More on that after this break. Total Soccer Show, hey, welcome back to the Weekender. It's Friday. If you're listening to this to the day it dropped, we are here to bring you some of our takes from the Discord server, patreon.com/Total Soccer Show. If you'd like to join us in the Discord, here are some of the games you guys are looking forward to. Dimitri Uso on the Discord says it's Tottenham versus Chelsea. Big London derby this weekend as well. That's at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, by the way. Dimitri Uso says Chelsea have had our number and embarrassed us quite badly the last few times we've played with them, going all the way back to the 4-1 under Ange in 23-24. I am cautiously optimistic for things to be different under Frank and hopeful we can get a statement result over our rivals. Dimitri Uso, Graham, evidently a Tottenham fan for this one.
Yep, and I'll be tuning in for this match. I think it has the potential to be really interesting. Struggling to get a read on both of these teams, to be honest, but in particular Chelsea this season, where I expected much more from them coming into the campaign. Now, they have had injuries. Levi Colwill goes down before the start of the season with a season-ending injury, or at the very least he's going to miss a huge chunk of the season, and he was just so important to the way that they got out from the back. Chelsea, he's left-footed. I don't think they have another left-footed central defender, so they've missed him a lot. Then Liam Delap gets an injury fairly early on, so they have been impacted, Chelsea, but nonetheless it still feels like under Maresca, Chelsea have entered these, periodically they've entered these phases where everything just goes flat for like a month, like 4 or 5 weeks, and they seem to be in one of those phases right now. So nothing like a London derby against one of your rivals to pick you back up again. And as for Spurs, I definitely think they've made progress this season. I mean, they had to. If they hadn't made progress, they'd be relegated from the Premier League this season. But I think we're already starting to see some of the limitations of Frank Ball, where Tottenham in possession, particularly in central midfield, are just not creating enough. And Xavi Simons is still bedding in, still early days for him, but you can see that he's not being fully integrated into that team yet. There's a lot of pressure on him to deliver with James Maddison and Kulusevski still out injured. So yeah, there's certainly a lot riding on this for both teams.
Do you think, Graham, that Tottenham will go back in the market for that number 10 spot in the winter?
And possibly not, just because they've got 2 players to come back from injury, and obviously there was a big outlay for Xavi Simons. I think what they are more likely to do is to find someone who can progress the ball from deep. And I think João Palhinha has been an excellent case study of the two sides of Frank's Tottenham, where he's been very good at what he does, like against the ball, breaking up play. Bizarrely, he's good at like getting into the box and he scored a few goals. But if you're asking João Palhinha to progress through the midfield into the attack, he just can't do it, and that's why he failed at Bayern Munich. So even though he has been a good addition, there's a ceiling to what he offers Spurs, and Spurs as a team, it feels like, have that ceiling that sort of corresponds with his own ceiling. So that's kind of the player that I think they're lacking more than another number 10.
Need to raise those ceilings. Smash the glass. Indeed. Tottenham-Chelsea 1:30 Eastern on Saturday. Discord Stu says, this week is the last regular season match for NWSL. Only 3 points separate 5th through 8th place in the playoff battle. I'll be watching the Portland Thorns versus the Houston Dash, hoping the Thorns can improve upon their 6th place position. Interesting one here, Joe. The Dash outside of playoff contention. Casey Current looks like they've very much run away with the season this year, but tight in the playoff spots as well.
Yeah, an all-time great season from the Kansas City Current this year. Portland very much have a chance to rise up the table, as Stu talks about here. There is really only, though, one playoff spot up for grabs at this stage. 7 of the top 8 are locked in, not in terms of seeding, but in terms of actually finishing above the playoff line. There are only 2 teams that can climb or stay into that playoff field. So one is Racing Louisville. They're currently sitting in 8th, and then the North Carolina Courage are in 9th right now. Louisville have Bay FC in what is a really winnable game on Sunday, and North Carolina host Gotham, which is a slightly tougher game, but both teams at home. There is still stuff to play for. The big question, I love that you got there, Ryan, is the Kansas City Current look unstoppable-ish. Tem Washawinga has recently gone down with injury. Even still, this team has been so unbelievably good this year. I don't know if we're going to see somebody topple them, especially because not a lot of these teams are quite at full strength either. The Current are not the only team in that situation. But just a one playoff spot up for grabs on the final day of the NWSL regular season. They've got the same problem, by the way, that MLS has, which is they've got international breaks disrupting key parts of their calendar. We talk about MLS having to deal with international breaks in October and then again in November. That halts MLS play right before the end of their regular season and then interrupts their playoffs. The NWSL had their last batch of regular season games, and then they had the international break sandwiched in between there. It's a tough lack of momentum heading into the final day, which does make it a little difficult, I think, for casuals to get back in. But there is still something to play for this weekend, and then playoffs, which are always fun.
Excellent stuff. That game between Portland Thorns and Houston Dash is 5 Eastern on Sunday. Very good. The Bacchanale on our Discord says, LAFC at Austin on Sunday is the game they will be watching. Curious if we can finally win in Texas, says the Bacchanale. No matter who the team is, LAFC always seem to lose in Texas. Interesting.
A little bit of truth to that. Two losses and a draw in Texas on the road in regular season play this year for LAFC. They beat Austin 2-1 on Wednesday evening. That was the final game of the MLS playoff. See, this is where, Taylor, I do end up falling where you come down. How do I express this? It was the final game one of these opening series in the MLS postseason. By the way, I'm sorry. I know this is a tangent. Charlotte NYCFC played their game on Tuesday. They were the second to last game of the openers.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
They play their next game before anybody else plays again. They play on Saturday in the afternoon. What is happening? I'm fine with the playoff format, like as a competitive thing. I've talked about this before. I don't have a lot of juice for thinking that it's terrible. I get that it doesn't fit great in the current MLS schedule with international breaks. I think in the future it projects well, and there's a lot about it that I enjoy. Why are we not scheduling these games in order? Like, why are we making a team play on short rest when we don't have to? This makes absolutely no sense. I understand you want to spread the games out. Dean Smith complained about it being a Tuesday. Whatever, cry me a river. Like, I get that. MLS has to try to exploit some broadcast space here. Why is that the team that then has to turn around the tightest before anybody else? It makes zero sense. It is so dumb. MLS is already an unbalanced league because the regular season's unbalanced. Why are we also making the playoffs even more unbalanced than they need to be? It's so frustrating. Like, it makes things hard to keep up with as a neutral, as like a viewer, a spectator. And I'd be livid if I was like NYCFC or Charlotte. Like, it's so maddening. On that LAFC Austin game, by the way, to circle back around, I think it's going to be a tough game for LAFC because Austin made things difficult for them in game one. LAFC are not a free-flowing attacking team under Steve Cherundolo despite their talent. And Austin under Nico Estevez, their thing is defensive play. And LAFC were not super successful creating spades of high-quality chances in game one at home. Austin are going to be even tighter, I'd have to imagine, in game two. It's not going to be an easy road for LAFC. I would still pick them to win this game, certainly to win this series. But like, Taylor, I think you pointed out in our MLS playoff preview show, Austin are just a bad matchup for LAFC. So it's going to be an interesting game, no doubt about it.
Very good stuff. 8:30 Eastern on Sunday, that one. And just on the timings as well as the playoffs, Joe, for the Charlotte round as well. 6:45 kickoff on Tuesday, which I think caught a lot of people unaware who were maybe coming from work and didn't realise the game had started already. And then, the afternoon, 3:30 on Saturday. Sure.
The Saturday kickoff time slot's fine. And I understand that Charlotte weren't happy with having a game on a Tuesday. Like, they did draw the short straw. I get that. But they were the only team that hosted on a weekday. There were 3 other games on weekdays. 4, actually. I guess Friday maybe we won't count it, so we'll say 3. But it is just so absurdly dumb that is how the cadence of these games has come together.
Here we go. Heritage stuff. AJ in the Discord says, I'll be at Hell is Real in Columbus to watch Darlington Nagby's final game and Wilfred Nancy's potential final game in Columbus. Probably going to be drumming for that game as well. Oh, very cool. Likely with my face painted for Dia de los Muertos. Wonderful stuff. I like the idea of that. I wish I was I hope the camera pans over there.
Yeah, right? I do occasionally wonder if we're able to see AJ on a Columbus Crew broadcast. I just want to make a quick addition to AJ's comment here. We don't know if this is going to be Darlington Nagby's last game. AJ is assuming the worst about the Columbus Crew as maybe he tends to do, which, fair enough. Like, I didn't have them to win this series. But Columbus are still very much alive. And if they win their game against Cincinnati over the weekend, they will play a game 3. And if they win that game, they'll continue to play. Not easy for Columbus, certainly. We talked about this on Tuesday. They just don't seem to have a lot of horses right now. But Cincinnati don't look super scary to me either. So I think the Crew are very much in this game. I'd expect a tweak or two, both tactically and maybe even personnel-wise from Wilfried Nancy. The Crew, even limping as they are right now because of all those injuries, they're still one of the most fun teams to watch in MLS. So yeah, I'll be watching this game.
Excellent stuff. Columbus, Cincinnati, 6:30 Eastern on Sunday. We'll look out for that drum line. Very good indeed. Shreyas says Detroit City versus Louisville in the USL Championship playoffs is where they will be having their attention. Detroit City have been dire most of the season, 5 wins, 8 draws and 10 losses since the start of May, yet somehow made the playoffs. Can they pull off an upset against the best team in the league? No, says Shreyas.
Correct, says Taylor.
Okay.
Correct, part 3, says Joe. I mean, Louisville just had the best season in USL history based off of points per game. Like, they set records this year with how good they are. And Detroit have not had a lot of success against Louisville recently. I think it's been more than 2 years, according to John Morrissey, since Detroit have actually pulled off a win over Lou City. I don't think it's going to happen this weekend.
Okay, well, find out Saturday, 7 Eastern for that one as well. One last game to pull from the Discord from John P. Napoli against Como, the aforementioned. Napoli atop of Serie A with some injuries, but still have McBro. Is that the current one, Graham? McBro?
I think that's what we're calling him.
Okay,
Yeah.
McBro.
I like it.
I think I ordered a McBro in the drive-thru this morning. It was delicious. We've still got McBro doing some magic against Como, who've been playing fantastic with everyone's favourite upcoming star, Nico Pass. Yes, indeed. Como won the first fixture in February at home, and if Como win again, they'll be securely in the top 4 of Serie A. That's a great one to watch as well in Serie A. And Nico Pass very much taking a lot of the attention as he did last season too.
Yeah, he's great. And Napoli have been great in the league this season, but have been very Antonio Conte when you contrast that with their European form, where they already look up against it to make it out of the phasing, the league phase, whatever we're calling that. But McTominay, after a bit of a, or McBro, McFratame, whatever he's being called these days, had a bit of a sluggish start to the season and seems to be cooking now. Unfortunately for Napoli, Kevin De Bruyne has got a bad injury. That injury that he picked up taking and scoring the penalty against Inter Milan at the weekend. Quite a bad one. And he has undergone surgery and I think is going to miss like the majority of the rest of the season. So that's a blow for Napoli. I say it's a blow for Napoli. As I said on Monday's weekend review, having him and McTominay's kind of disrupted their midfield a little bit. So I don't know. Maybe the muscle memory goes back to what they were using last season, and actually they're just fine with Kevin De Bruyne. But it's certainly less fun, right? I think we can all agree on that. It was fun to see Kevin De Bruyne in this team.
Yeah. And Como's ride has been pretty wild over the last few months, but going into last season as well. They're basically relegation candidates for much of last season and then had a terrific run of form and pushed themselves right up into the top part of the table. And they seem to be continuing on that. So Cesc Fabregas doing very good stuff on the lake. Very good indeed. Thank you, John P, for that one. Thank you to everybody who told us about the games you're looking forward to watching this weekend. We're going to take one more quick break, and when we come back, oh boy, it's a quiz. Is it a spooky quiz on this day of all day on Hallows Eve? Let's find out after the break. Total Soccer Show, welcome back to the Weekender. It's that part of the show and that part of the week where we hand the reins to our quizmaster extraordinaire, the Taylor Rockwell. Hello, Taylor. Have you got some questions for us?
I do indeed. They are not Halloween themed, though if you are a Spurs supporter, they will frighten you a little bit because there is a Tottenham-Chelsea question to lead us off. Oh, no. Shall we get into it?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Let's get into it. All right, some of these will be first to answer, so you have to buzz in and say your name. Some of these will be everybody gets a chance. This is everybody gets a chance. Okay. Tottenham hosts Chelsea. We talked about it. A matchup that has not often been favorable to Spurs, as Dimitri Uso mentioned earlier in his What He's Watching. Since the start of the Premier League in 1992, Spurs have only won 8 of their 66 meetings, I think, or 66-ish meetings.
Wow.
In what year did they get their first ever win over Chelsea? If you go back to Dimitri Usu's point, like they haven't been kind to us in like the last 7 or whatever it is, it's not always gone Tottenham's way. Rarely has it gone Tottenham's way. When did it first go Tottenham's way, Ryan Bailey?
This is the sorry, just to clarify, this is the Premier League era we're talking about.
You are correct.
Yeah, right, got you.
Tottenham's first win over Chelsea in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think it was maybe it's 64 meetings. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
2004.
Ryan says 2004. Joe.
2003.
Joe says 2003. Graham.
I'm trying to think
prices.
Chelsea
right.
and Spurs were like.
You know the one you have to pick, Graham, logically speaking.
But I feel like that might be wrong. Premier League starts in 92, right? So I will say 98.
Why didn't he say 2002?
Because I think 98 might be right.
Well, I think he probably should have said 2005 because 2006 is the correct answer. Ryan Bailey gets the point. November 2006, goals from Aaron Lennon and Michael Dawson. Bested one from Claude Makalele.
That's wild.
That is wild. That's
Yeah.
one of the craziest things I've heard. They didn't beat Chelsea in the Premier League until 2006.
That is correct. Yeah.
Whoa.
14 years, baby. Took some time. Not always been great.
Sort of understanding the inferiority complex a little
yeah?
bit more.
All right. So we got a point for Ryan. We go to our next question. This one is say your name. Whoever says their name first gets to answer first. I mentioned Bayern and Leverkusen earlier playing each other. I counted 3 current players who have played for both clubs at some point in their career. Jonathan Tah is one. Josip Stanisic is the other. Who is the third?
Oh, come on.
He took the one I was going to say.
All right. So
In which era?
currently.
Current player.
Current.
Current player. He's played for both.
All right, so we're all thinking about it. This is already going better than I hoped it would. 3 players have played for both: Jonathan Tah, Josip Stanisic, and the third player, who originally this question was going to be they could all be involved, but I believe this player is injured, so they will not be involved. Does that help?
Buzz, Joe, Buzz.
Yes, Joe.
Does Malik Tillman count?
He does indeed play 4 games for Bayern Munich. Joe gets the point.
I would never have gotten there, Taylor, without that little hint you gave.
I
Good
figured.
Can
It's
his name's
easy
not
to
Buzz.
forget,
Can he
one,
lose
that
points for that?
that he was employed by Bayern Munich, and 2, that he actually played for Bayern Munich. I had to check that one to make sure.
Wow.
I apologize,
Well
Ryan.
done.
All right.
Good
Malik
job, Joe.
Tillman. Good for you, lad.
Fastest gets to answer. However, if no one buzzes / says their name, then we will go to guesses. Okay. Speaking of Bayern, I wrote this before we did the Take It or Leave It about Bayern and will they go. What is the term? Victorious? Like how? It's not winless.
Will they go victorious? Will they
go
have
victorious?
a perfect season?
Yes. Will they win every game of the league? Inspired by Graham's speculative question, and now I guess that Tioli. I looked up teams that have done just that, which is how I knew that Rangers did it in 1899, winning 18 of 18 games. One other team seems to have accomplished the feat. The New Saints in 2017. In what country does the New Saints play?
Graham.
Ryan.
Graham said it first.
That would
Graham?
be Wales.
They're Welsh. Yeah.
They are Welsh.
Well done, guys.
All right.
Did I get a
wasn't
bonus
sure.
point for letting you know what their original name is and why they're called TNS?
Maybe.
Total Network
Go ahead.
Solutions.
Come on. Total Network Solutions. Yep, that's the answer. Which I
And
love
famously,
that fact about them.
on Soccer Saturday, the results program, there was a joke where they'd say when they win, they'll be dancing in the streets of Total Network Solutions.
Cool. So Graham and Ryan both just saw the quiz sheet before we started. Then understood.
I just
No,
no
this is
problem.
like-
But if we're gonna cheat, at least let me know. You know what I mean?
So wait, that puts us. Everybody has a point now, right?
Everybody's level.
I did not give Graham a bonus point for that one. Yeah, my hint was going to be they play in their country's top flight, though that does not mean the country's best teams play in that top flight.
Oh, good.
All right, here we go. Now we're taking a turn. We'll take a turn soon. Last weekend, James Milner's assist for Charalampos Kostulas' goal was the largest age gap between a goal scorer and an assister in Premier League history. When that goal happened, how far apart were they in age?
Oh, my.
I would like years and days, please. So, it is the largest gap between goal scorer and assister in terms of age in Premier League history between James Milner and Charalampos Kostulas. When that goal happened, how far apart were they in age? Ryan, coming to you.
Can you tell me how old Kostulas is?
No, that's surely
Okay,
part.
fine. All right, fine.
That's surely part of
Um,
the big part of the question.
Can you tell me how far apart they are in age,
In
please?
age,
Just real quick,
and if
real
you could
quick.
do years and days, Taylor, that would be great.
Well, it doesn't. Okay, fine. I will say 19 years and 1 month.
Okay, Joe?
I wanted to go last.
Why do I always go first on these?
I'm gonna say
It's going around. Go on, sir.
20 something in some number of days. 20 years and 300 days.
All right. Graham?
20 years and 50 days.
Joe gets the point.
Yes.
21 years and 146 days.
We were pretty close.
21 years. 21 and basically like a half years apart. Not bad. Now,
Wow.
That's like a full person. Like a full, professional.
That could
soccer
be his
player's
son.
age.
You know,
Yeah.
that could be James Milner's son, who also has like a ruler that he's very committed to. You know.
Yeah.
Fastest wins on this one.
Okay.
James Milner was born on January 4th, 1986. What sci-fi adventure movie was #1 at the box office in the United States when he was born? I believe
Say the year again. 96. No,
1986.
Ryan.
Yes, Ryan Bailey?
Empire Strikes Back?
I believe we've all seen this movie. I might be wrong. The film was in its 27th week at the box office and returned to its #1 spot after fading from 11 straight weeks in the summer.
Did you call it sci-fi?
I did, but you've already answered.
Ryan.
I don't know. Dude, Graham and Joe, I'm going to give you an opportunity to throw out a guess before I give it to Ryan. Yes, Graham.
Okay.
Blade Runner.
Joe?
Okay, Joe.
Yes.
I will say. Wait, Ryan said Empire Strikes Back. I'll say Return of the Jedi.
Ryan.
Yes, Ryan.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future is the correct answer. I knew that would make Graham so mad. Graham, is that your favorite movie?
Yes.
All right.
It's like the opus of my life. I'm never doing another one of these shows again.
That's why I questioned the sci-fi element, because I wasn't sure how we categorize it. But yeah, there we go.
That's sci-fi, right? They use made-up technology to go back in time.
We'll take it.
All right. Charalampos Kostoulas was born on May 30th, 2007. The #1 movie at the time was Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, which was the third in the franchise. I would like each of you to give me your most detailed plot summary for that film in 30 seconds or fewer. If you've never seen it, do your best. So I think it is Graham going first on this one. Graham, I apologize. I'm going to go ahead and start that clock. I've read the Wikipedia plot summary. Good luck is what I'm going to say. Graham, whenever you're ready, take it away.
So Johnny Depp does a bit of drunken walking around and Captain Barbossa. Keith Richards might have been in that one, I think, something like that. And I seem to remember the boats or the ships are on sand. That's the cool bit of that film. They're not actually on the sea. There's something to do with sand in a desert. That's all I can remember. It wasn't very good. The first one was much better.
All right, 21 seconds. We got some plot points in there. Ryan, coming to you. Do your best.
Okay. This is embarrassing because I went to the world premiere of this movie and I cannot remember it at all. So I'm pretty sure it is the one with Keith Richards in it. So I'm going to say Johnny Depp discovers his father, who's on a different ship, and they overcome an adversity together. Then they carry a boat upside down underwater, which physically cannot happen. And then hilarity ensues.
Beautiful. Joe?
Yeah, Johnny Depp's character drinks a lot of rum and finds himself eating some sort of deep sea creature at a table with whoever Keira Knightley's character is, and then Will Turner, the actor's name is escaping me, the Legolas guy. They all end up hanging out. They become best friends, and it's really actually just a still shot of the three of them sitting down over that meal for the entirety of the film. It doesn't have the real heft plot-wise of the first two, but it's better than the fourth one. So
There was a writer's strike, I think.
Very much so. And then somehow they let Ryan in to see it before anybody else, which I don't know.
I'm friends with Orlando Bland. There it
is.
Orlando Bloom, who of course his dad is Tony Bloom. He's a Nepo baby.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Soccer Nepo baby.
Yeah.
I think I respect that Ryan and Joe both went for plot summaries, whereas Graham just went for things he could remember. But Graham did remember the most things because Depp, Barbossa, Keith Richards, and Ships on Sand. I think that's 4 for 4. I'm going to give that point to Graham Russell.
Ships on Sand isn't plot.
It's a plot point.
That movie, if you read the Wikipedia plot summary, that movie is impenetrable. So, not surprising that it spawned more sequels. All right.
Yeah.
1 or 2 more questions. We'll see how we're doing on time. The Richmond Kickers are one of the oldest continually operating teams in the United States. Half point for Joe. Since their founding in 1993, in how many different leagues have the Richmond Kickers played?
Oh, man.
A few of them sound very familiar, but when you click on them, the Wikipedia entry is playing in their first ever season or in their inaugural season. So they are all distinct, even if they sound the same. So since 1993, in how many different leagues have the Richmond Kickers participated? Anyone like to go first? Or
I'll go first.
All right, go ahead.
Can I ask, Taylor, the USL rebranded a while back.
Mm-hmm.
Are we counting those as different leagues? When they rebranded and just gave the leagues different names? Or is that the same? Does it make sense? Does that question make sense?
It does. I'm counting them as different.
Okay, all right, that's helpful.
If you would like me to not, I can change
No,
the
no,
number.
no.
Okay.
No, Taylor, you do you, man. Like I'm just happy to be here. I'm not trying to take the reins. I'm gonna say they played in 6 different leagues.
Oh, that was gonna be my number.
You can pick that number. We can be together.
good?
I'll hang out with you.
You've already got a half point. Yeah.
Nah, we're not counting that. I don't need the half point.
You both get a point if you get it right.
Yeah.
Ryan or Graham, go ahead. What would you like to say?
5.
Ryan.
Well, logically speaking, there's a different number I should go for then. I know they did the self-relegation thing, so they've done at least 2 USLs. I will say 7.
Ryan is correct. It's 7. Exactly. Nicely
close.
done, Ryan.
Well done.
USISL Premier, USISL Select, A-League, USL 1, USL 2, USL Pro, USL League 1, instead of just USL 1. So, Joe, you are correct. There were 5 USL rebrands in there, I believe.
underestimated. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Should have gone harder on that.
You Sissel?
You Sissel.
Oh, you know what?
Don't be
I
rude.
lied.
What a
I'm
steak
wrong.
does.
I'm wrong. I guess Ryan can get the point for being closest. It's 9. They've played in 9 different leagues. So maybe not. Here's what we're going to do. Nobody got it right. Nobody gets a point. I apologize, Ryan. What I will do is say this. Here's the way to change it. Yeah, you got to get it right.
I get it right.
It's the correct number.
I'm real.
I mentioned USISL was their inaugural league. I would like you each to do your best guess at what USISL stands for. Would you like me to spell it? I will spell it for you if you'd like.
If you can, that'd be great.
USISL.
Ryan.
Yes, Ryan?
United States International Space Station Legoland.
Okay. A bold nomination. I feel like Ryan is now
I'm
protesting.
just protesting that point.
Joe,
Yeah.
are we buzzing? I'm going to buzz. Does it just stand for United States Indoor Soccer League?
That's a good
Graham?
guess.
The American Dodgeball
Nope.
Association of America.
We're going to go one more round. United States blank soccer league.
So not indoor. It wasn't indoor.
Joe is the closest. Joe, you want to go first?
International.
Ryan says international. Joe?
Intergalactic.
Okay, guys.
Graham says
here we go.
intergalactic.
Industrious.
Independent.
Of course.
Of course.
All right. Then our final one will be the Richmond Kickers.
Hold on. Score check.
Yeah.
I have 2.
Sib.
I have 2, but I should have 3 because of the one I got right.
If nobody gets
Wah,
this
wah,
one,
cry me a
if nobody
river.
gets this one, Ryan gets a point. All right. The Richmond Kickers have won the U.S. Open Cup. They are not the last non-MLS team to win the U.S. Open Cup. However, what excellently named team
Joe.
also won it? Yes, Joe.
Rochester Raging Rhino.
That is correct. Joe Lowry with
that.
the point. Joe Lowry has 3 points. I believe Joe
Ryan,
Lowry
You got so robbed, dude.
is our winner. Hi, Ryan.
Oh, that fills me with such joy.
Should we? I mean, we could make it a tie because my number was wrong. See, this is why I don't
okay.
host the pub quiz. Ryan seems genuinely like he's going to file a complaint with the league if we don't have a tiebreaker between Ryan and Joe.
Well, we can
The
need an
American
arbitration
Dodgeball-
after this.
Dodgeball League.
Yeah.
I've got to think of one on the fly.
Oh, make it another Richmond Kickers one.
Okay. Who was the goalkeeper for the Rochester Raging Rhinos when they won?
Graham.
Yes, Graham?
Oh, man.
Who's not involved in the
This already.
tiebreaker?
Tony Miola.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Casey Keller.
No. It's like a smaller name, but you might have heard of it. He played for Canada.
K Keller.
Wow. I have no idea.
Canadian goalkeeper.
Can you give us another team he's played for? Do you know?
The Toronto Buzz. I think I saw them in there. Does that help? DC United most recently.
What year is this?
What year?
Most recently. 20
It was in the 90s. I have honestly no clue. I need more hints.
All right. Let me see what I can find here. Okay. He retired. In 2011.
Yeah, it's not gonna work for me.
All right. I don't know. All right. Let me see if I can find. Okay. I could give you who is the last. Joe might have the advantage here. Who's the last non-MLS team to make a U.S. Open Cup final?
Buzz Joe, Sacramento Republic.
There you go. Joe gets the win in your face, Ryan.
Well, that seemed fair.
I'd say so.
It seemed very well balanced to me. I'll say that much.
Very good. Wow. I'd like to see if any one of us could name any of the plots to any of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies legitimately.
Not
I've
better
seen the
than
first
Graham.
one, like, probably 6 times.
First one's good. I had fun.
First one is good.
That's the Where's the Rum Gone one, right?
That's the.
Yep.
I do.
And the boat upside down one that Ryan mentioned.
Oh, is that the first one? Mm-hmm.
The boat, I think, does go upside down in the third one, but they don't carry it upside down.
Is the first one the one that Michael Bolton summarizes in the Lonely Island song?
Yes, it is. Wait. But then he references Davy Jones, which is, I think, the second and the third. So I don't know. It's all of them, I guess.
Guys, I have an idea.
Yeah, let's end the show.
What if we ended the show?
Yeah, let's do that.
What if we talked about Pirates of the Caribbean for a little bit longer?
Or
they're still making
after
those
that
films.
third
So.
one, I know, and I think another one coming.
Talk about the Paul Brother Surf, the Gesture of Tortuga, a little bit more.
But is Davy Jones' locker what lies in store?
Fine, I'll come back with a new one. Anyway, let's end this
Let me steal
episode.
some more points from Ryan really fast before we get out of here.
Taylor Rockwell, thank you somewhat for the quiz this week. We appreciate your services to that. It was
My pleasure, my friend. I apologize for not having a better tiebreaker.
no worries at all. Listener, thank you very much for joining us on the weekend. We hope you have a wonderful weekend watching all of the Soccers. Keep an eye on the feed on Saturday because our listener questions episode will fall upon your laps if that is where your phone is positioned. But for now, Taylor Rockwell, thank you again, sir.
My pleasure.
Joe Lowry, thank you very much.
thank y'all.
Thank you, Graham Ruthven.
Thank you, Ryan Bailey.
And listener, thank you the mostest for joining us on this one. We'll be back on this feed very shortly indeed. But for now, bye.